What's up everybody and welcome to this random video. I'm calling it random because this isn't part of my usual upload schedule, but there's this little topic that I've been thinking about lately. Well, it's not like I've been thinking about it all the time, but I've been just watching a video that reminded me of the topic once again. And it's tech related because I'm someone who's very interested in technology and any kind of technology advancements actually. And I also work in sales of electronic entertainment stuff like phones, computers, laptops, screens, TVs, cameras and stuff like that. And there's one thing that's been confusing me this year. It's related obviously to the topic of this video. What the heck is happening to Apple? I've known Apple to be this very cheap company. They have their great software, their great closed system, but they always did only the minimal they had to do to release a new generation of phones, for example, increasing the price tag without making any great improvements that would explain the increases in price. But people would still buy it, so that's why Apple did it. As long as people bought the products, they're very expensive products, they would produce the very expensive products without improving on them. Lately, they've been improving their products above the marginal minimum that they did the last few years. I think it started with the iPad Pro 11-inch, which is by far the best tablet in the market. First, they put in a 120 Hz screen. Sure, people wanted that, but they could have released a new iPad Pro without putting in a 120 Hz screen, but they still did it. It's a nice feature to have. Okay, so no more distractions. Where was I? All right, the iPad Pro, the newest iPad Pro, I think, which was released in 2018. They did an improvement that no one expected them to do, which made it actually a very, very good device that even I think about buying. If I ever want to buy a tablet, it will be that one for sure. And that will be the first Apple device that I ever bought. But it's not just that. First comes the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. They didn't just add the wide-angle camera, which is already a bigger investment, bigger hardware costs for them. No, they also added a bigger battery, finally. They've been using their very, very small batteries, the smallest batteries of all the phones, or at least of all the flagship phones, for years, just because they were cheap. It's cheaper to use a smaller battery than a bigger battery. Yes, of course you can argue Apple devices are more efficient, they don't need big batteries. And that's true. But adding a bigger battery makes the phone even better. That's something that they didn't have to do, but they did it anyways this year. And finally, their iPhones are really, really good devices. They aren't just the minimum that they had to do to be better than others. They actually change a few things to be better than the rest. I will never buy an iPhone because I don't like the closed systems that they use. I will stick to Android, but what they did with the iPhone this year, it's really, really good. And shortly later, they released the AirPods Pro. The AirPods were being sold greatly. They could have just kept on going, selling AirPods, making a lot of money. In our store, we sell many, many AirPods per day. We'll do a lot of money with that. The AirPods were just normal AirPods like all others, not special good in quality. Yes, they work very good with iPhones, but besides that, the sound quality wasn't that good. If you wanted to use AirPods, but you didn't have the right ear shape, you wouldn't be able to use them. They released the AirPods where you actually can adapt the size of the tip of the AirPod so that it fits different ear sizes, ear shapes, and they even added noise cancelling. Sure, the price tag is high, but this time they made an improvement. No one saw that coming. Well, most people didn't, but they did it anyways. And now they've released the MacBook Pro 16-inch. They could just have released a newer revision of the MacBook Pro 15-inch without changing much. They increased the screen size without increasing the size of the whole body by much, so you have a higher screen-to-body ratio. They increased the battery by a lot, so they actually put in the biggest battery that you can carry on an airplane. They changed the keyboard to an older version that was way better than the one they've been using lately. And sure, this makes the MacBook Pro 16-inch a little bit thicker and a little bit heavier than previous versions, but they did it anyways. And by making it thicker, as far as I've heard, they even fixed the thermal issues that they had with the previous model. That's also something that I really hated about Apple, and well, I still hate it. They put in like the best Intel i9 processor that they could put into the MacBook, but without considering the thermal issues that happen when you do that, and so all the drama with the thermal throttling happened that you paid for like the best version of a MacBook Pro that you could, but you wouldn't be able to get any use out of it because the hardware was too hot to be put into that device. So yeah, this year Apple has been doing great improvements that most people didn't expect, considering how they've been behaving the last few years, and that really surprised me. I wonder if they will keep on going in this direction. And yeah, I just thought about this because I've been watching a video of, how's this guy called? View Later from Hardware Unboxed, where he was talking about the MacBook 16-inch. It's like, damn, they really are doing good things lately. Well, anyways, that's just what I wanted to say. It's not a very interesting video, but I wanted to get my thoughts out there. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.